Picture this. You have $100 to spare. You have heard nothing but great things about the Saints Row franchise. Guns, violence, gangs, sex, all of the ingredients of making little Timmy all grown up in this world. So, you convince your mom to buy you the latest and greatest in this franchise. You pop that sucker into your machine, and then... Oh no. Make it stop. No. Oh god. Leave me alone. Make it stop. No. 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 Go to your happy place, RPG. Go to your happy place. How does a franchise die? Do its creators stop caring? Do the stories lose touch with the intentions of earlier entries? Does the premise get stretched so incredulously thin that the entire foundation of what made audiences originally fall in love with it just collapse? Multiple franchises that lasted for more than just a handful of games have committed all of the above sins. Sometimes a game can rise to a phoenix after an abysmal failure and cause a resurgence in said franchise, but oftentimes than not, the franchise atrophies and disfigures itself into something no longer recognizable until it mercifully dies. So I could sit here and take a deep dive into the good and the bad of this DLC, listing some gripes and what could have been done instead. I could talk about how stupid the dialogue is throughout this entire DLC. I mean, just listen to this filth.
Since the death of our king Carlemagne, the bones have not been seen.
Ausonius, thou hath awakened the dragon! The sacred forge is now lit! Next thou must defeat me, the sandy kraken, sigil beast of thine own house, to prove thou hast the might to wield.
Or I could talk about how long these monotonous talking sections take, or how bad the stealth mechanics are, or how despite playing in multiple different interior areas, you're locked out of all of them after the missions. But what's the point? I'll tell you the point. There is no point. Let's rewind a little. Prior to the launch of this DLC, a user asked Volition what they would say to someone who isn't exactly on board with the whole LARPing nonsense. To which Volition responds with, quote, "The LARP missions were really popular in the feedback fans provided." What? Positive feedback? Where? What positive feedback? I don't see it on YouTube, I don't see it on Twitter, I don't see it on Discord. Where are they getting this positive feedback for the LARPing shit from? Moving on. It offers players a break and shifts to a lighter tone for characters building a criminal empire, just for a little bit. Right. Because the main story was truly a dark, inspiring narrative novelty. Thank God we have the LARP DLC so we can have more lighthearted moments. That's exactly what this game needed. I'd hate to interrupt the very dark, disturbing moments within this story. Oh god, this really is disturbing. So should you buy this DLC? No, absolutely not. Do not ever waste your money on this game. But RPG, didn't you buy this game? Surprisingly, I found a working copy of this game lost at sea. I got really lucky with that. There I was with my copy, ready to start up this DLC for you guys, just to see how far the cringe extends, and then I realized the horror. The missions were locked. I had to complete the original LARPing missions from the main story in order to proceed to do more LARPing bullshit. Well, I tried getting through the first mission and gave up, but I have my methods, and I was able to find a 100% save file of this game lost at sea as well. I've been having some really good luck in the ocean. You know, it actually makes me sad knowing that Volition is still capable of making worlds feel alive. This festival area is full of different NPC action nodes, ambient noises, lore, and generally feels like such a step up in terms of making a living, breathing world. It's just a damn shame Volition chooses to waste resources on shit like this. I mean, what even is LARPing? No, really, tell me. No actual human does this shit. From the 3 awful main story LARP missions, to its own criminal venture, to a then very fleshed out 5-mission DLC pack, I'm starting to wonder if Volition is just using this game as an excuse to fulfill some sort of sick LARP fetish they have. For real though, why are they so obsessed with it? No wonder every section has long, dragging on dialogue. It's because of Volition's weird LARP fetish.
Gathered here had good reason to wish her so, but they all claim alibis. Prithee, can thy wits solve this puzzle?
Hail, Bossonius! I am Darian.
Unlike those craven Frostlanders, I have heard how they didst ambush thee. I pray thou find revenge.
People don't talk this way. People don't act this way. And if they do, nobody wants to be their friend because they are so annoying.
Hey, the wage slave is back.
How was your first day? Were the other mercenaries nice to you?
This game was written by the most annoying and insufferable people on Twitter. You know, the ones that usually have blue hair or something like that. If you add up all the LARPing content in this game, it legitimately takes up a good portion of the entire game. We need director's commentary. What is this? How can they justify something like this for a Saints Row game? What happened to you, Volition? Okay, let's take this back. Saints Row III's Gangstas in Space DLC was pretty wacky and out there, but the reason why it could be believable is because you were playing a role in a movie. If they wanted to fulfill their LARP fetishes so bad, they should have just wrote it in a way where you're filming for a cheesy sitcom or something. I mean, most of the game is written like that anyway.
How was your first day?
Were the other mercenaries nice to you?
Then Saints Row 4 went full balls to the wall and ruined everything with aliens, space guns, sci-fi, all that jazz. But I guess it had Johnny Gat. Anyways, Saints Row 4 is still a terrible Saints Row game. My point being is that this was a reboot, a chance to start fresh. What happened to that graffiti wall, man? How did we end up back to square one, but at an even worse standpoint? From literally smoking your dead ops to whatever this is. It's truly heartbreaking. So yeah, most of the time cutscenes were playing, I ended up just scrolling my phone or thinking about other shit. The race section is cool, I guess, even though it's just a reskin of Trailblazing. The district itself, even though technically not part of the paid portion of the DLC, feels very fleshed out, albeit in the worst theme possible. The paper plane on the rooftop should have been a drivable, unique vehicle. Don't buy this DLC. There came to a point in my playthrough where I stopped in my tracks and thought to myself, what the actual fuck am I doing right now? As a grown man, I felt embarrassed to play this, even though no one was around to watch me. I could be outside catching some sun rays. I could be investing in some scam crypto coins. I could be doing anything but this. But no, here I was as a grown man playing a video game that is titled Saints Row, playing a character that is pretend killing people with Nerf bullets. Now imagine being a group of grown adults actually writing this material. Not only writing it, but thinking it's quality and people will enjoy this. That's the part I have trouble understanding. Is it Volition that's the problem? Or is it Deep Silver? Maybe it's both. Maybe we'll never know. One thing people like you and I do know is that this couldn't be further from what Saints Row is. The thing about Saints Row 2022 is that some days it makes me angry, while other days it just makes me sad. There is nothing Saints Row about this game. There is nothing Saints Row about this DLC. Do I sound like a broken record at this point? Yes I do. But it's like watching the love of my life get the Carlos treatment, come back to life, then get Mr. Sunshined. It honestly feels like they put the most effort and passion into this DLC specifically out of pure spite. They know that the real SR fans would hate it, so they went all out. You can just tell by walking around. Although, we can't give them too much credit, as the only two new interiors are literally just two that are copy and pasted already in the map. I hope they are happy with their decision. I seriously doubt the sales are doing any kind of numbers. To be charging almost $20 for this? Nah, there's just no way people are spending that on such a niche themed DLC pack. From my understanding, even the previous pack, Doc Ketchum's Murder Circus, had its price lowered by a couple of dollars very quickly after it dropped. That alone should be a telltale sign that sales aren't going so well. Speaking of that DLC, I've only played a couple rounds of the Murder Circus mode. I just have no interest in that. I don't think I would have been able to make a video on it without wanting to scratch my eyes out. The reason why I'm making a video on the LARP DLC is because it's so insulting that it almost becomes easier to rant about it, whereas the Murder Circus is simply just bleh. Apparently, the new district was only supposed to be a side project for the design team at Volition, but ended up turning into the LARP DLC in district. But considering that this is DLC 3 of 3, is this the final nail in the coffin? I'd say so, yes. However, there's actually supposed to be another DLC coming that's rumored to either be in time for the Steam release, don't buy this game, or near Halloween in October. It's going to be focused on this haunted house area, and funny enough, they accidentally made the DLC DLC accessible on Xbox. Just like how they dropped the Murder Circuits DLC a month in advance by accident. Never change, Deep Silver. Keep on being you and making blunder after blunder. I mean, and that's just it right there. The only thing left to do is watch themselves dig their graves deeper and deeper after every content drop. That's the one caveat to all of this. It's like watching a train wreck. You just can't look away. My advice to anyone looking to buy this DLC or this game in general, no, just go play something else. Go play something good. Go play Red Dead 2. I'm talking to you, Flippy. Go play it right now. The final verdict on this DLC is a 0 out of 10. I would have honestly gave it like a 2 because the district is kind of nice, but that technically is not part of the paid portion of the DLC, so it doesn't count. Strictly for the content you are paying for, it's not worth it, unless you're unironically doing this.
I conclude this ritual. Mending tap active! By the greater glory of Guildhall, hear my plea. Mend 1, regain 1 structure. By the greater glory of Guildhall, hear my plea. Mend 1, regain 1 structure.
But even then, you'd probably hate it. After feeling so down about all of this, I needed to find inspiration deep within. Why continue making content on this trash series? Why? Who can be my role model to look up to now? All my heroes are long gone. I'll tell you who. The Greek mystique, Johnny Sahanis.
Telling you that the Greek mystique has come here to conquer!
Anyways, follow me on X Follow me on X so you can see the latest and greatest RPG memes. Until next time, my brochachos, adios, mi amigos. This is Señor Papa RPG saying, arriba!